Hearing numbered 8215 is being conducted pursuant to Section 26.100.030 of the Revised Code of the City of St. Louis. The purpose of the hearing is to determine whether the conditional use permit issued to Compton Speedy Gas CO Jamal Al-Khari to occupy 3750 South Compton as a gas station and a convenience store, no liquor and no cooking, subject to certain conditions, should be revoked. The conditional use permit is numbered as 119470. The conditions in question are as follows. Condition 4. All signage must be applied for and approved by the Office of the Zoning Administrator. No pennants, bulbs, moving signs, or temporary signs. Windows must be kept clear of clutter, with only permitted area of the windows covered by signs in accordance with city ordinances. Condition 8. No loitering signs will be placed prominently on the building and will be enforced by management. 2 of the following signs will be placed prominently, one in front of the building at the front door and one on the gas pumps facing towards Compton, and enforced by the management, and shall read, quiet, respect our neighbors, no loud music, no begging, no stealing, no loitering, no trespassing, no littering. Violators will be prosecuted. 2 of the following signs shall be placed prominently, one facing Compton and one facing Chippewa. Video surveillance area. The following signs shall be placed at each gasoline pump and enforced by management. Cashier will turn off pump if noise is loud. Condition 11. Trash receptacles will be placed at the entrance to the building and at each exit and entrance ramps of the premise and emptied routinely to avoid overflowing. The Office of the Zoning Administrator has the burden to prove the conditional use permit conditions have not been complied with. After all evidence of the zoning administrator has been presented, the board will ask for additional testimony, if any, in support of the revocation. Then the conditional use holder will be given the opportunity to present the evidence. Lastly, the board will hear other testimony in opposition to the revocation, if any. Your testimony is being recorded. When you come forward, please state your name and address and be sworn in. As you testify, please direct your comments to the board and not to those in the audience. Members of the audience are asked to remain silent and not coach the witnesses. During your testimony, members of this board may have questions for you. Following the hearing, the board will proceed with its regular agenda. Following the conclusion of the regular agenda, the board will deliberate, discuss, and vote on the hearing. The board will notify the conditional use holder of its decision by mail in about 2 weeks. The Board of Public Service has in its possession the following documents which are being introduced into evidence. Item 1, a certified copy of the zoning code of the City of St. Louis. Item 2, the conditional use permit numbered 119470 issued to Compton Speedy Gas CO Jamal Al-Khari to occupy 3750 South Compton as a gas station and convenience store, no liquor and no cooking, subject to certain conditions. Item 3, a letter dated January 3rd, 2018, sent to Compton Speedy Gas, CO, Samer LLC, CO, Jamal Al-Khari, from the zoning inspector warning of the violations of the conditions that were found upon a recent site inspection and the potential for a revocation hearing should the violations not be corrected within 30 days of the date of this letter. Item 4, a memorandum dated February 8, 2018 from the zoning inspector to the zoning administrator stating that upon that date, the zoning inspector found violations of conditions numbered 4, 8, and 11 of the conditional use permit. This memo includes photographs of said violations. Item 5, public notices for today's hearing. And item 6, a certified letter dated February 27, 2018, sent to the conditional use permit holder from the board secretary providing notice of today's hearing. The board asks a representative of the Office of the Zoning Administrator to please come forward and be sworn in.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but
So help me God.
state your name for the board, please?
Myra Turner, zoning inspector for the City of St. Louis.
Can you please tell us about your investigations?
Okay. When I started the investigations, they had, when I originally sent them a notification about their conditions, number 3 was out of compliance because they had the ice machine on the exterior. The signage, number 4. Number 9, about the drug paraphernalia, and then number 11. Upon going back for a re-inspection after that letter was sent out, number 4, about the signage, was still out of compliance, number 8, and number 11. But upon re-inspection today, number 4 is still out of compliance. They still have temporary signage on the windows, on the fence, covering the window. Number 8, the no loitering signs placed prominently. They do have a big no loitering sign on the front door. However, they're supposed to have one facing Compton, and it's not there. Also, they're supposed to have quiet, respect our neighbors, no loud music, no begging, no stealing, no loitering, no trespassing, no littering, and violators will be prosecuted. That is supposed to be posted as well. Saw none of that. 2 of the following signs with the video surveillance, one facing Compton and one facing Chippewa. They only have one sign that I saw, and it's up towards the beginning of the store. It's not, and it's facing probably, I would say, toward Chippewa. I didn't see anything on Compton. Okay, and then the sign that's supposed to read that if it's loud noise at the pumps, that the cashier will have to turn off the pump. It's not there either. And when I talked to the person that was in this place, they said, well, we don't sell gas anymore. This morning when I got back there, number 9 was back in violation. No wrapping papers, no cigars or blunts. Black and Mild, White Owl, Swisher Sweets, etc. No scales, no copper scrubbing pads, chore boys, no glass tubes, no bath salts, no ephedrine, pseudoephedrine, no synthetic cathinons or bath salts, no synthetic cannabis, no chemicals designed to mimic illegal drugs. No type of drug paraphernalia will be sold, distributed, or displayed. Well, they have shelves full of wrapping paper, roll leaves, and things of that nature. They still don't have number 11 trash receptacles placed at the entrance on those entrance and exit ramps. There are no receptacles on those.
So just to reiterate, we're, as of today, in violation of conditions 4, 8, 9, and 11.
Yes.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Thank you very much. The board asks that the representative of the health department please come forward and be sworn in.
Yeah, I'll forget.
Please proceed.
My name is Adam Wario, and I'm working with health department, environmental health section, and food control. And we started inspecting this establishment in July 2014. When we first started, the facility was not complying with a lot of health requirements. So our objective was to educate the store owners and then monitor their activities and then make an inspection. And at the first time we inspect that facility, we found out a lot of critical violations, such as selling adulterated food, where some of them were eaten by rodent, and our workers have no rule for adulterated food, and there was evidence of mold on the wall and cooler, and also food items in service are dusty, and also evidence of rat and ant, and we requested evidence of extermination, and we asked them if they have a receipt, and they didn't provide that receipt. And there is also a violation which indicated that there was no access to the restroom due to the damage of the door. And that was the first inspection, which is an opening inspection. So what we did is we told them the requirement, and then we followed up the next after 30 days, and then the facility owners corrected most of these violations. And previously we gave them a grade of B, which is lower for the most of establishment. And when we went back in August 26, 2014, they corrected most of the violation except one, which is a critical violation and categorized under good retail practices. And the milk in the refrigerator is supposed to be 41 and below degree Fahrenheit, and we found out it was 54, which is in violation of food ordinance. And then on March 31st, we made another routine inspection. We found a critical violation, which is display of the freezer was not maintaining the correct temperature, and we cited them for that. And also in April, the following month, we inspected the establishment and found one critical violation, which was the bathroom, how they didn't put a soap in there, and the bathroom was open at a certain time when we came back. And also in February 3, we did another inspection. We found no critical violation, and this time we found non-critical violations such as snack cakes stored on floor. It has to be stored on the floor, on the shelf, 6 centimeters above the floor, and they haven't done that, and which is not critical, but it's still a violation of food ordinance. And also, the exterior of their coolers were not clean. It's not critical, but it's non-critical violation. The floor were not clean and in poor repair. And we came back on January 10, 2017. They corrected most of these violations, but as the shelf and our floor continue to be in poor repair and unclean, and we advised them to maintain it clean and in a sanitary condition. And at the last inspection we did was on February 1st, 2018, and at this time also we did not find a critical violation that pertains to food ordinance, but still the floor is in poor maintenance, and there were old equipment accumulated by the dumpster, and the dumpster was open and it's supposed to be closed. And so that is the violation we found last. This is from a food control aspect. And also we send our environmental officers, which oversees the community sanitation aspect. And we sent the officer yesterday, and what he found was a trash and light bulb on side of the drink cooler. Floor is dirty. Hole in the wall next to furnace with a trash inside. Observed ceiling leaking in 3 separate locations. and employee were observed wearing no shoes. Bathroom is inaccessible and entrance is covered with a board. And in conclusion, what we found out is in a food ordinance, like I said, our objective is to educate them and maintain the food aspect, cleanness of the food aspect, and mitigate food-borne illnesses. And we educate them. And first, when we started, they were in a bad condition. Continuously, we have to do re-inspection every month. So we educated them really. But in a structural aspect of the establishment is not very clean, and also they haven't maintained it the way they're supposed to do it. And the reason why we keep on educating them was the establishment was inspected for low priority, which means they are stored and selling packaged food. And if they would have sold ready-to-eat food, or if they had a kitchen, the violation should have been more than that. The way we assign violations, there are 45 items under which violation may occur. Each item has a weight 4 to 5. The critical violations, we assign them 4 to 5, and mostly they're corrected, and non-violations are assigned 1 to 2, and we keep on educating them. The structural or the facility is poor condition. Also, they are not posing imminent hazard to public health in aspect of order.
Questions from the board for the Department of Health?
Yes, just very briefly. You indicated that in 2014 there was a grade of B given. What grade was given during your February 1st, 2018 inspection?
Yeah, when we started, we gave them a grade of B because they were not complying with the ordinance, and those violations were not corrected. We couldn't correct it on the spot. So we told them we have to come back and gave them a grade of B. And we came back after a month and then re-inspected it. They corrected all of those violations, and then we upgraded to A.
So currently it's a grade A?
Yeah.
And so you see no, I'm not sure exactly what your words were, but you believe that they're in compliance at this time? That they are in compliance at this time. I believe you testified that had there been cooked food or unpackaged food.
No, it's
that
prepackaged, yeah. It's prepackaged food. Although it's prepackaged, it has to be in a sanitary manner.
All right, let me see if I can finish my. You indicated that had it not been prepackaged, then the grade would be lower.
Yes.
But because it was prepackaged,
Exactly.
it was fine. And
Exactly.
I heard you say that the only violation was that the dumpster was open?
Yeah, the violations that we cited them for is the violation that are associated with prepackaged. If they cook it, and for sure, we have seen that they are not even complying with the basic requirement. And if there is a kitchen in there, and they would have had a more violation. So we helped them to correct those violations that are associated to pre-packaged, like a milk and snacks. And we told them to clean it like a dusty foods. And then that is.
Other questions from the board? Thank you very much. I'd like to ask Alderwoman Kara Spencer to please come forward and be sworn in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I'll do, thank you. Sure. My name is Kara Spencer. I'm the 20th Ward Alderman. I represent the area surrounding the Speedy Gas location here on Chippewa. I'd like to offer some thoughts on this particular property, and I also have a letter from a resident nearby. This property has really been a problem for our neighborhood for some time now. There's a lot of activity that goes on here, and it isn't very good activity. The gas station no longer sells gasoline. It instead sells other items, but it is selling things outside of what it is zoned to sell. We have a lot of drug paraphernalia. We have a lot of NyQuil and other things that are really, not only should they not be selling, but are welcoming and inviting and facilitating behavior activity that is just not very safe. It's been a drain on our police resources, as our police captain has discussed with me several times. We had a homicide just a few properties away from this just 2 months ago that originated here at this gas station because of a lack of lighting, a lack of positive activity. We have met with the owners and started to address some of these issues. They are not fully addressed, and the neighborhood, at our last neighborhood meeting, which was just last Tuesday, continued to express very deep concern about the ongoing issues that are present here at this location. Given that, I am in support of revoking the occupancy. However, we do have a extenuating circumstance in that we have the owner has put the property for sale. We do have a reputable gas station owner who has several gas stations in the city that has put an offer on the property. The offer has been accepted and it is pending right now. And given that if we revoke the occupancy now, we would put the new owners at quite a disadvantage by not allowing them to operate for the next year. I'd like to look at giving a 30-day window to complete that sale, that transaction, so that we can see if that can go through and we can move forward by just sort of transferring the existing conditions to the new owners. I think that would be in the very, very best interest of the community if we can see that through, because again, they are a very reputable gas station owner and would really have committed to investing a great deal in deconstructing this whole site, building new, and most importantly, being a gas station and providing a gas service to the neighborhood.
And so the new business owner who's proposing to operate there would also be a gas station?
They would. There are tanks underneath right now. They are non-functional, which is one of the reasons why they are kind of making up for that lost business in other ways right now.
And would you also feel comfortable with similar conditions that are on the existing permit?
Yes, and we've kind of walked through that as well. Yeah.
Questions from the board for the alderman? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The board asks the conditional use permit holder to please come forward and be sworn in. I'd like to note for the record that the conditional use permit holder is not present at this hearing. At this time, is there anyone present opposing this revocation that wishes to testify? If so, please come forward and be sworn in. Seeing none, I would like to introduce two items into evidence. Item A would be the report from the zoning inspector, and item B would be the letter presented by Alderwoman Spencer. The matter concerning hearing number 8215 is now closed and submitted. The board will proceed with its regular agenda. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Here.
Director Hayes is excused. Director Augustin? Here. Director Moore? Here. Director Edwards? Here. And President Bradley?
Here we have a quorum. I'll call a meeting order.
From the President, recommendation that bids be rejected by reason of the fact that the low bidder, Tarleton Corporation, did not perform a good faith effort to meet the MWBE participation sufficient to meet the 25% MBE and 5% WBE goal, and the second and third and fourth bidders failed to turn in required MWBE forms for the project for letting number 8655, Terminal 1 Garage, Brown Level Drive, Lane Reinforcement, St. Louis Lambert International Airport. PSA number 1211, replacement of miscellaneous HVAC equipment for terminals and concourses, climate control package 1 at St. Louis Lambert International Airport. Supplemental Agreement Number 1 to PSA Number 1179, testing and inspection of materials for projects throughout the city of St. Louis, Missouri. Supplemental Agreement Number 2 for PSA Number 1139, design of reconstruction of Taxiway Echo from Taxiway Sierra to Taxiway Papa, the removal of Taxiway Echo from runway 6 through 24 to Taxiway Sierra, and the reconstruction of the North Apron Lima Pad, Lamar St. Louis International Airport. Supplemental Agreement Number 4 to PSA Number 1170, Central Field Upgrades and Streetscape Improvements, St. Louis, Missouri. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission Transportation Alternatives Funds Program Agreement between the City of St. Louis and Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission for Louisiana Calm Streets Project, Gravois to Merrimack Street, Federal Project Number TAP 9901649. Recommends approval. Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, STP, Urban Program Agreement between the City of St. Louis and Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission for Dr. Martin Luther King Drive improvements from Newstead Avenue to Vanderveer Avenue, Federal Project Number STP 9901643, St. Louis, Missouri. From the Director of Public Utilities, recommendation that the Board declares as emergency action hauling debris from 4600 location to Pure Dump Site during water main break emergencies, and a broken Lamatoric valve operator for pump 4, number 4, 48 inches discharge valve located at the Howard Bean Water Treatment Plant. From the Director of Public Utilities and Streets, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Charter communications starting at a vault and sidewalk directly in front of 720 North 1st on the Cleves Landing. Spectrum will travel 20 feet east under sidewalk and penetrate the front west basement wall of 720 North 1st. The cobblestones in the sidewalk will be removed and replaced in the order they were in. A 2-foot conduit will be placed housing .625 coax cable that will be used to build an infrastructure inside 720. AT&T starting from manhole at 6404 Gravois, bore 115 feet to new handhole at the same address. Dig 5 feet to new concrete pad with fiber distribution box. From new handhole board to multiple riser poles location and new handhole at 4611 Holly Hills. From pole at 6334 Gordonville, bore 173 feet to new pedestal at 6407 Center Court. Then bore 107 feet to new pedestal at 6415 Center Court. From handhole at 4611 Holly Hills, bore 36 feet to riser pole at 6273 Prince, and bore 323 feet to riser pole at 4509 Holly Hills. Total right-of-way placement is 2,071 feet. From the Director of Public Utilities and Public Safety, joint recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. The Missouri Foundation for Health for a boundary adjustment at 1400 and 1408 through 10 Tower Grove, 4228 through 36, and 4240 Vista, and 4215, 4219, 4223, 4231 through 33, 4247 and through 51 Hunt in City Block 12. Hillco LLC to consolidate land at 5527 and 5529 Botanical in City Block 4048B. From the Director of Streets, recommendation that the following permits be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. Soha Partners LLC doing business as Clementine's Creamery to encroach with patio railing at 4715 Macklin. Rosalita's Cantina to hang a 40-foot banner over the street between 1234 Washington and 1235 Washington from April 7, 2018 until May 7, 2018. and Soha Partners LLC doing business as Clementine's Creamery to encroach with Sidewalk Cafe of 4 tables and 8 chairs utilizing 140 square feet at 4715 Macklin. From the Director of Public Safety, recommendation that the following festival zones be approved subject to certain conditions as follows. The St. Louis Tent Revival, March 24th through April 7, 2018, at College between Carter and Penrose Street, closure only for March 24, 2018. Ballpark Village Cardinals opening day, April 5, 2018, streets adjacent to Ballpark Village for opening day. Go St. Louis, April 7 through 8, 2018, at Laclede Landing, Lenore K. Sullivan, Streets of St. Louis Marathon, 1/2 Marathon, Forest Park. St. Ambrose, La Festa, May 6, 2018, at Wilson between Hereford and Marconi between Wilson and Bishop, Hartford between Wilson and Bishop, and St. Ambrose Church Ground. Cardinal Recruiting Division, U.S. Navy, June 7, 2018, at City Hall and Pokers Park, Block East Curve Lane of 13th between Market and Chestnut. March from Poker Park east to Chestnut, south on Broadway to Busch Stadium, Gate 1. Now we have the conditional uses.
Good afternoon, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Terrell Island, zoning plan examiner for the City of St. Louis, representing the building commissioner. And per board order number 766 transmitted herewith are the recommendations for the following conditional use applications. Approval with conditions is recommended for 6 applications, and they are 5932 Plymouth, 4004 North 25th Street, 5114 Natural Bridge, 4901 Union Boulevard, 3801 South Grand, and 5280 Filer. I request that these recommendations be approved as submitted. Are there any questions? Conditional uses.
Any questions from the board on the conditional uses? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
I move we approve the conditional use permits as read.
Second.
Moved and second for approval. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes is excused. Director Augustin?
Aye.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Conditional uses are approved. Hearing number 8215, 3750 South Compton, Compton Speedy Gas. We heard from the zoning inspector, currently, as of today, in violation of 4 conditions. We heard a myriad of history from the health department about things going on. We also heard from Alderwoman Spencer of the 20th Ward, who talked about the problems created by the existing business, but also talked about a new business owner and a buyout currently in process. And so I'll open the floor to discussion, but what I would like to ask the board to possibly consider is that we table this for 30 days. We allow this prospective buyout to happen, because what will happen is if we would come back now and we were to revoke the conditional use permit, it would cause a substantial delay in the process of allowing the new owner to get a conditional use permit. You heard from the alderperson that it will be a similar business with a better owner, hopefully, and would be similar conditions to what we currently have today. So it would be very simple for us to allow the new owner to assume the conditional use with any modifications to be made, as opposed to revoking it, going through the whole appeal process, waiting for some period of time, and then having to start from scratch. So I'll open the floor for discussion.
Mr. President, I'll move that a final decision with respect to the revocation of conditional use for the property located at 3750 South Compton be stayed for a minimum of 30 days.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I second.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes is excused. Director Augustin?
Aye.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Approved. The extension is 30 days. I'd like you to turn your attention to our meeting minutes from last Tuesday, March 13th, 2018. Are there any questions or comments on the minutes as presented? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Move we approve the minutes as read.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is not present. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes is excused. Director Augustin?
Abstain.
Director Moore?
Here.
Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Minutes are approved. Today's agenda, questions or comments on the agenda?
I noticed that Director Scooby wasn't called as excused, but on the agenda it says he leave. Would he be in favor?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions on the agenda? Seeing none, I'll take a motion, please.
Move to accept the agenda.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Can you call the roll, please?
Director Scobie is excused. Director Wilson?
Aye.
Director Hayes is excused. Director Augustin?
Aye.
Director Moore?
Aye.
Director Edwards?
Aye.
And President Bradley.
Aye. Today's agenda is approved. Motion for adjournment, please.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.